Every person who has ever beaten you at something didn't beat you when the game started. They beat you before it started, before the first move, before anyone was watching. In the quiet, private space between deciding to play and actually playing, they had already won, and you didn't even know the game had begun. There's a moment that exists before every outcome, before the win, before the loss, before the result that everyone sees and reacts to and remembers. A moment that happens entirely inside the person, invisible, silent, completely undetectable from the outside. It's the moment where the mind decides what this is, not what it might become, not what it could be if things go well, what it is right now before a single thing has happened. And that moment, that private interior, seemingly insignificant moment of framing, determines almost everything that follows. The ancient Greeks called it prohairesis. The Stoics built an entire philosophy around it. The idea that between every event and every response there is a space, and inside that space lives the only thing that has ever truly belonged to you. Your choice of how to see it. Not what happens to you, not the odds, not the opponent, how you see it. And the people who win constantly, not once, not by luck, not by talent, but constantly across years and decades and circumstances that should have stopped them, they have learned to control that space. Let's be honest about something. Most people walk into every important moment of their life already defeated, not because they're weak, not because they lack talent or preparation or desire, because they walk in asking the wrong question. The wrong question is, what if I lose? The right question, the one that changes the architecture of everything that follows, is, what does winning actually require of me right now? Not the abstract, not the future version of events. Right now in this moment, with what I actually have available to me, what does this require? Sun Tzu wrote something in The Art of War that military strategists, chess grandmasters, and the most successful people in every field have been quoting for over 2,000 years. Every battle is won before it is fought. He wasn't talking about preparation in the controversial sense. He wasn't talking about training harder or knowing more than your opponent. He was talking about the mind that enters the battle. The general who walks into a field already certain, not hopeful, not optimistic, certain of what the outcome will be, moves differently, decides differently, responds to setbacks differently, because they're not discovering the result as it unfolds. They already know, and that knowing changes everything. So what does a winning mind actually look like? Not in theory, in practice, in the moment before the moment that matters. It sees failure as data, not a verdict. This is the thing that separates the people who win once from the people who win constantly. A single win can happen to anyone. Constant winning requires something most people never build: the ability to lose and extract the information from it without internalizing the identity of it. You failed, that's information. You are a failure, that is a story, and it's one you wrote yourself. The Japanese concept of Kaizen, continuous improvement through small, daily refinement, is built entirely on the distinction every failure is a data point, every setback is a calibration. The mind that sees it this way doesn't get stopped by losing. It gets smarter. It decides the meaning before the outcome arrives. This is the part most people never talk about. The meaning of an outcome is not fixed. It is not handed to you by the result itself. It is chosen, consciously or unconsciously, by the mind interpreting it. Two people can experience identical failure. One of them decides it means they were right to be afraid, that this confirms their limitations, that this is a sign to stop. The other decides it means they are closer than they were yesterday, that the attempt itself was the win, that this is exactly the kind of resistance that precedes every breakthrough worth having. Same event, completely different futures. Epictetus said it simply enough that it should be uncomfortable. People are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. The outcome didn't defeat you. Your opinion of the outcome did. It plays the game that's actually being played. Most people are playing the wrong game entirely. They're playing to not lose, which is a fundamentally different game than playing to win, and it produces fundamentally different decisions. Playing not to lose means protecting what you have, minimizing exposure, staying close enough to safety that if it goes wrong, you can say you were never really all in anyway. Playing to win means something completely different. It means full commitment to an outcome with full acceptance that it might not come. It means moving with the kind of clarity and speed that only comes when you've already made peace with every possible result because you've decided none of them define you. History is full of people who understood this before any of us gave it a name. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He went home, closed his bedroom door, and cried. And then he made a decision that had nothing to do with talent. He decided what that moment meant, not that he wasn't good enough, that he wasn't good enough yet. One word, 3 letters, the entire difference between a story that ends there and one that becomes the standard every athlete since has been measured against. Winston Churchill failed entrance exams, failed in business, was politically finished more than once by people who were certain his time had passed. He said something once that sounds almost too simple to be profound. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Not talent, not luck, not the right circumstances finally arriving. The courage to continue, which is not an emotion, it is a decision made before the outcome, regardless of the outcome. In the space between the event and the response, that space the Stoics called prohairesis, where the only thing that has ever been yours lives. So here's how you win every time, not by losing. Anyone who tells you that is selling you something that doesn't exist. You win every time by deciding, before the game starts, before the result arrives, before anyone else's opinion of your attempt can reach you, what this means and what you're going to do with it. You win by playing the game that's actually being played, instead of the one fear invented to keep you on the sideline. You win by understanding the outcome was never the point. The point was always who you became in the pursuit of it. What you built, what you learned, what you decided about yourself in the moments when the result was uncertain and you moved anyway. That is winning. Not a scoreboard, not a moment, not a result anyone else can hand you or take away. A mind that knows before the battle, before the game, before the first move is made, exactly who it is and exactly what it's here to do, and walks in accordingly. Now go in.